The first question is a multiple choice question. It asks, why was aluminium not used widely before 1886? Option A, it was not abundant. Aluminium is an abundant metal. It's found in the Earth's crust mainly. Option B, it was not useful. Aluminium has many great uses due to its great properties. Option D, none of the above. There is an option above that does reflect the answer we need. Aluminium is difficult and it is expensive to extract from its ore. So option D, it was difficult and expensive to extract from bauxite before 1886 because it was difficult and also very costly. So option C is the answer. Now moving on to question 7. Question 7 says, aluminium is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust and has many valuable properties. Suggest why aluminium was not used extensively until the early 20th century. As we do always underline the key verb, suggest. But with this question, they have provided us with a statement before the question. And it is always very important to refer to the statement when you're answering your question. So it says the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust and has many valuable properties. But why wasn't it used until the 20th century? So you would have to provide examples of why aluminium wasn't used even though they had these advantages. Aluminium atoms are held very tightly in the bauxite complex. So here we have the chemical formula for the bauxite complex. And also very large amounts of energy, especially electrical energy, because this uses the electrolytic process to separate the metal, were needed to extract it, and so it was not commercially viable until the early 20th century. So this is a very good descriptive answer of what is asked here. We'll move on to question 8 now. It says, identify 4 metals which are used uncombined today, and for each metal, identify a use. Now with this question, the verb is used twice. That means there are 2 parts that you need to answer in your question. So the verb here is identify. Identify simply means to name it. So the 4 metals we'll be looking at, first is aluminium. And then they have identified the use, which is drink cans and window frames. And this is mainly because it's lightweight and also corrosion resistant. Then we have the second metal, which is lead. It is used to shield people from X-rays and nuclear radiation. And you learned about how gamma rays are stopped from lead sheets. Copper using electrical wiring. Now this we just learned about how copper is a great electrical conductor. It is used for electrical wiring. And our fourth is gold, and it is used for jewelry. So these are the 4 metals that we have in our answer, and these are the uses. So you understand how you would identify the 4 metals and identify the 4 uses. Question 9 says, list 3 properties of aluminium and relate the uses to their properties. Again, we have the verb used twice, except this time the verb is different. So there are 2 verbs. One says to list, the other says to relate. So with the listing of 3 properties, you would just name 3 properties of aluminium. However, those properties should be corresponding and make a relationship to their uses. So you have to relate them. Property number 1 would be thermal conductor. It's a great thermal conductor, so it's used for pots and pans for cooking. The second one is that it's a reflector of heat. Now that's why it's used for roofing, because it acts as an insulator almost. And we have malleable, ductile, and electrical conductor. So out of these 3, you can use any for your answer, but writing all the 3 is also a great idea because electrical cables are made because of these properties. Now we come to the end of section 2. We covered titanium, aluminium, and steel as the 3 metals that are used in contemporary day. So that wraps up the lesson.